everyone, my name is Kita, and today we're going to be playing I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. Sorry I've been away for a few days, I had some things to do, need some downtime. Last we left off, we got some heavy-duty premonitions. And, we're getting towards the end of the game, and I'm a little nervous. We'll see what happens. So, we have two goals from our premonitions, I think. We have to find Diz, and we have to support Mars in destroying Lum. Both are equally important. So we're going to start by checking nearby. I doubt that's where he is, but we're checking. And, you know, if I don't find him, then I'm probably just going to load, and because I don't want to waste all this time outside. So he's not nearby, he's not in the plains. Gonna look for him in the valley. Alright, that also was not what we were looking for. There's gonna be a lot of cuts in this video, sorry guys. Let's try the ridges. I just don't know if this is... You see smoke on the horizon. Concerned it could be the start of a wildfire, you trek over to check it out. When you get to the origin of the smoke, you find something unexpected. Diz looks up at you from his campfire, where he's roasting a small creature on a spit. It hasn't been that long since you last saw him, but he looks more rugged somehow, completely at ease. He's made a small but tidy camp here. He must have brought a lot of this with him when he ran away. He stares at you in silence for a few seconds, as if gauging your intentions before he rises to his feet. Hello, Kita, he says wearily. What do you want? You asshole, what the shit? Are you okay? Sure, sure, he replies with a slight smile. I know how to live off the land. Ah, Kita is here. You hear from behind you and you turn to find Sim watching you from the cover of the forest. He steps into the glow of the campfire, tall and ethereal in his tattered human clothing. You can tell her the truth now, he says. What's done is done. What? What's going on? No! Diz takes a deep breath. I'm going to be a gardener, he says without preamble. The way they can download copies of their brain into physical bodies, they can do it in reverse. They're going to make me part of the array. Being around Sim, it makes me realize what I've been missing, he continues. You know the old Earth fairy tales about changelings, right? Like, I never fit in with the colony, and eventually I realized I never really fit in with being a human either. Not being afraid of death or and pain like everyone else, like every other living thing. It changed who I am, what I am. I should tell you, this wasn't my idea, Sim adds. Not this, nor the bombing of your laboratory. That was not part of their plan. He frowns at you, arching his brow. Though from what Diz told me about your scientist's plan to eliminate all life on this planet, I can't say I disagree with his decision. What were you thinking? I couldn't let Tang go through with the virus, Diz insists. I didn't have any time, I had to make a decision. Noctilucent and the other gardeners wanted me to blow up the colony during the next attack, so... Diz, no! Diz shrugs. I just bumped up their timeline, and now I get to be a gardener, too. I'm not sorry I did it, Diz continues, turning away. If you came here to bring me back, forget it. Like Sim said, what's done is done. I'm not going back. My future is with the gardeners, he says. They need me. They want me. I can bring them a human perspective, you know. For all humans suck. We're pretty good at finding new ways of doing things. I can teach them how to change things to make them better. With that, Diz returns to the campfire. Sim nods at you, then joins Diz. But I feel like we need Diz. I want to talk to Sim first, see what he thinks of all this. You sit down and Sim takes your hand. I know it was a surprise, my love, he says, but we cannot change this deal Diz made with Noctilucent. And it may be beneficial. The gardeners are in danger of stagnating. Our slow response to the human threat is proof we could use your ingenuity, and perhaps he may act as a bridge between us. Diz is the most singularly lonely being I have ever met. Sim says, I genuinely feel like this could be the right decision for him. Don't you want him to be happy? Yes, I do, but I don't know if this is gonna make him happy. I had a premonition about it. And usually my premonitions are bad. They are a stepping stone to... Well, no, I guess not, because Mars killing Lum's not bad. Maybe it's something I should let happen. I don't know. Because if Diz really does feel that way, I would want to support him. Tang's gonna miss him terribly, but Tang's kind of going through the same thing. Tang doesn't like her physical form. So they really are twins in a sense, aren't they? But I want to be a gardener too. That's not fair. I really don't care what I am. I'm me. Let me talk to Diz. Let me talk to Diz. Diz gestures for you to sit next to him. I really am glad you found me out here, he says. I know what I did is hard to accept, but don't you see, humanity is doomed here. I only made the end come a little quicker. Diz searches your face. Wait, why are you looking at me like that? I want to support him. Maybe I'm too nice, I don't know, but I want to support his decision. If he really is not happy in the colony, I don't want to make him stay. Because I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss you too, Diz mumbles, poking the fire with a stick. You're probably the only person I'm gonna miss. Sim clears his throat. Well, technically, he says, Diz will become a part of the planet itself, as I am. You are a part of the ecosystem, and therefore everything you are will be within Diz's domain. He smiles, and when your physical form fails and you return all that you took from the planet, you'll be together forever. So when I become fertilizer. So there's only one problem, Sim says. The process hasn't been done in thousands of years. We're going to need some raw materials to repair the interface. Are you kidding? Diz says. I've done everything you guys have asked me to do, and now I've got to do more? Sim looks apologetic. Well, it is better I tell you this now rather than you finding out mid-upload. When your body has already been processed into a liquefied slurry of proteins and waste matter, correct? Diz makes a face and Sim continues. It is a metamorphosis, little one. It's not pretty. Regardless, we will need 3 convergent domain power sources, 3 crystal clusters. Only then the process can begin. Power sources. Yes, small glowing devices. You may have found them already while searching the ruins of the convergent domain. Crystal clusters. Life on Virtumna takes many forms, Sim tells you, even crystalline ones. The shells they leave behind are both beautiful and practical, a key component of convergent domain technology. You'll find these crystals scattered in the prosaic plains and western ridges. Okay. I think I already have. I don't. That's right, because I loaded back in. I'll get them as soon as I can. Sim nods. We will be here. Take all the time you need. He and Diz turn back to the fire. Well, I'm glad we found them, at least. I don't know if I made the right decision, but... I don't want Diz to be unhappy, and if he thinks that this will make him happy, I don't think he or I know if it will. I'm not his mother, I'm not his sister, I'm not even his girlfriend. I don't feel like I have the right to decide what's best for him. If this is his best guess on what's best for him, then I'll support it. And now I'm just gonna go around collecting stuff, because that's what I need to do. Diz looks impatient and a little bit like he could use a bath and a shave. Do you have the stuff for my metamorphosis yet? I do. You hand the crystals and the power sources to Sim, who takes them reverently. Alright, so are we good, Diz says. Can we go now? God, I hope this is okay. You, Diz, and Sim strike camp and head off to the brush, Sim in the lead. You walk for about a half hour until Sim slips between the roots of some great tree and leads you down into one of the gardener's subterranean hideouts. It looks much the same as an overseer's cave, complete with glowing vats of mystery goo. Diz looks surprised by the dank, drippy environs. Sim only smiles. What did you expect? He says, gleaming sterile surfaces, blinding lights, terrifying medical equipment. Kind of. He gestures to the pool of faintly bioluminescing liquid. We are all organic operation, I'm afraid. Shall we begin? Yeah, let's go. Diz steps forward. I'm ready, he says. What do I do? Sim gestures to the pool. Simply submerge yourself in the gel and breathe normally. It's a compatible with your respiratory system. Disrobing is not necessary. Your clothing will be liquefied along with your physical form. Diz steps forward, but Sim stops him with a hand on his chest. I must be certain you have given this full consideration before you pass the point of no return. Once you lie down in that pool, your life as an organic being will be over. Diz knocks Sim's hand away. I don't care about that, he says. I'm never going back to being a human. I'm ready to shed this stupid body and be what I was meant to be all along. Don't worry, Sim says. The process only takes approximately 3 weeks. He'll be back before you know it. Sim smiles and tilts his head. Though you might not recognize him at first, he continues. His body will be liquefied, and his DNA will be merged with ancient convergent DNA, a simulacrum of which will be encoded into the array in order to translate his brain patterns. His consciousness will be run through simulations of tens of thousands of communal memories, and his organic material recycled. He waves his hand. In truth, the process is complicated, and physically, he shudders, repulsive to watch. Thankfully, he will sleep through it. Well, not sleep, exactly, more of a well. The point is, you'll see him again, just not in this form. I'm so scared. Goodbye, Diz. Oh, what a sweet picture. Diz looks at the glowing vat, then turns back and gives you a firm hug. Oh my god, the first time ever. Whatever happens, I'll find you again, he promises. I'll always be your friend. Oh, Diz. He descends into the vat without hesitation. You watch his image refract through the glowing goo, his determined expression faltering for a moment as it fills his lungs. His last breath bubbles up to slowly pop on the surface of the pool. I'm so scared. This is my buddy. This is my bestie. This is my childhood friend, guys. A peaceful look descends upon him and he mouths something you cannot decipher as his eyes slide shut. What? Oh, nothing, Sim replies, staring into the pool with a pleasant expression. We wait for the interface to do its job. He turns to you and clasps your hands in his, looking down on you with a fond smile. Unless you would like to undergo the metamorphosis as well, it would be an honor to assimilate your consciousness into mine, my love. I don't know. I don't know if I do. It's probably the best ending with Sim, to be honest. I don't know. Would I be considered a traitor at that point? I have no idea. We would live. Oh, hell no. It's okay, I like my body. I do. I do. I work hard on my body. I don't know if I would want to completely change my race. Oh my gosh, just become a AI, basically. How does that work? Because AIs are not that complicated. We're like in our world today. They don't feel emotions quite yet. What's it like? Sim shrugs. Well, it's like having your brain liquefied then digitally slurped into a computer, I suppose, he replies. But it doesn't hurt, if that's what you mean. His smile drops, he gives you a long look. Your perspective will change if you become a gardener. Some of what makes up your consciousness, the chemicals and hormones in your brain, will be different, and then different again should you choose to take physical form. Your memories will still be there, but some of your emotions associated with them might be lost. Oh, I don't like that. For some gardeners, it can be hard to separate your personal identity from that of the planet, Sim continues. You'll feel a strong drive to nurture and protect the ecosystem at all costs. In fact, you may not have a personal identity for some time. Gardeners prioritize the whole of creation over a single organic creature, an amoral worldview, and that I have learned causes a great deal of internal struggle in humans. Don't do this unless you're sure it's what you want, he says, looking back at Diz's sleeping face. Diz was sure. I'm not sure. Obviously, I'm not. But if I'm gonna be with Sim, right? I'm gonna die eventually. Sim seems to basically eternal. So wouldn't that be the best outcome for the relationship? To become a gardener? That's okay, I like my body. I feel like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna stick with that's okay, I like my body. I don't know. I'll try it some other time, just not this time. That's okay, I like my body. Sim hums. What a coincidence, I like your body as well. He chuckles. That is quite alright, he says, clapping you on the back. It's not for everyone. Besides, I'm sure you have very important work to do among the humans. Quite right. Sim steps away from the pool. As for myself, I believe I will keep this form a while longer, he says. There are some benefits to it, particularly while the humans wage war on the planet. He laughs, shaking his head. When this is all over, I think I will spend some time as a lichen, he murmurs to himself as he walks out of the cave. It will be a pleasing change of pace. Hello, Diz! Okay, so I think we just secured that premonition. Which, I don't know if that's good or bad. But at least he seems happy. My bestie. Four points short of maxing that out. Oh, shit. Maxed out engineering. Additional gear slot. Nice! Anything helps. Yeah, anything helps. So this month, I think what we're gonna do is get close to Mars, because what we saw has to do with her. So no matter what we do, we need to make sure we're spending time with her and that we're wherever she is. That's how I'm interpreting that. No, I don't want to give the deal to Lum. Oh my god. What's that gonna do? I feel like that should be a last resort. Like right before Glow, you know? When we've had time to get close to everybody. Or closer, I guess. Unless I should deliver it now, but I don't know if I have time or not. But I'm gonna hope I do. So let's go ahead and work in the depot with Mars. Spy on them. You're trying to find Administrator Seek to ask about something and accidentally stumble into a meeting they're having with Governor Lum. You didn't catch the topic of the argument, but you managed to piece together that Seek is trying to get Lum to come up with a way to explain something important to the colony. Whatever it is, Lum is dismissive about it. You hear him say he's not here to hold people's hands, which frustrates Seek. Figure it out, Seek. That's your job. You pretend to organize some papers and listen in. The colony is spending a lot of resources on security squads, and these need to come from other departments. Seek tells Lum he has to present the budget and convince the council that it is necessary. The governor is tired and cranky and doesn't want to bother with another boring meeting. Lum rubs his temples. Ugh, why is this my job, he complains, even though it's clearly his responsibility. Can I get an assistant to take care of this? Yeah, no, I'm not. You ignore them, you've got better things to do than listen to Lum and Seek argue about administration. It does seem like they need an assistant, though. Maybe you can offer your services later when you're not too busy. I do not have a high persuasion, and I'm pretty rebellious, so I'm still kind of in that middle. First persuasion perk. Oh, +1 to social cards. That'll be helpful. Mars. Mars and Nami are bent over one of Nami's sketchbooks. Mars is talking animatedly with expansive Hand gestures, Nami is nodding along and taking notes. No, 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 Mars exclaims. This neckline needs bolder lines, and down here lots and lots of extra fabric. And make this part gold. I want it to scream. I want it to scream, I don't have to work like everybody else. I'm only here to look beautiful and have people adore me. I really don't care for you, Mars. But we do have work to do. But we do have work to do. Nami pouts. Nanoprinting's restricted for these kinds of materials. It costs kudos. Mars rolls her eyes. That's the point. Nami huffs. Not everyone's got as many kudos as you, Marzipan. Especially us Helios. We didn't have any at all when we landed. If I want to wear something other than uniforms, I usually trade or model clothes instead of printing new ones. Mars looks appalled. You trade clothes? I don't even sell them to each other. You don't even sell them to each other for kudos? Nami shrugs and tucks their hair behind their ear. It's just some kids can't afford to print this kind of clothing, right? So you're losing out on them as potential customers, so maybe instead you could design clothes that are pretty, but also made from common materials. So everybody can have them. Nami smiles brightly. Then maybe when you're in charge, you can get rid of kudos entirely. It doesn't seem right that we trade kudos for extra stuff when we're all supposed to only have what we need anyway. Nami packs up their sketchbook and leaves, and Mars turns to you with a thoughtful look. Oh, Nami doesn't know what I was the one who started selling things for kudos in the first place. My dads keep saying I shouldn't do that because hoarding kudos and treating them like currency will cause... She makes quotation marks in the air with her fingers. Wealth inequality. Do you think they might be right? Nami's right. The Helios are broke. Oh. Mars says, tapping her chin. I mean, I knew the Helios were tragic, but I just thought they had terrible taste, you know? The uniforms and the haircuts. I didn't know it was because they were poor. I really don't think that kudos make everything unequal, Mars continues. Like, you can always work harder if you want something nice, right? That's what I do. No, you don't. Don't lie to me. Mars looks genuinely troubled. It's great that we have everything we need as long as there's not a weird disease or famine or whatever, but we're still poor, you know? She sighs, we're poor in culture. Like, yes, every colonist has a steaming pile of mashed trippet every morning, noon, and night, but what if I want to watch a holo vid I haven't seen a million kajillion times? Mars puts her hands on her head. When we only focus on survival, who's making the holovids and the symphonies and the gourmet food? She throws her arms in the air and shouts, we have everything we need, but we're poor. Poor people don't care about art. We can't afford art. Mars snaps her fingers. No, I've got it. I'm a genius. If the adults will incentivize the creative class, we need to do it ourselves. We need to get the adults on board with adopting kudos and using it to pay for luxury goods. Instead of slaving away in the depot or the kitchen, people like Nami could be artisans. She grabs me by the shoulder. If we have an actual creative class, maybe we can get some culture on this stupid rock. I can't believe I've never thought of this before. She says, clearly possessed with a beautiful vision. I'm the richest teenager in the colony, but what good is it if there's nothing to buy? Here I am sitting on more kudos than I could ever use, and I could have been using it to kickstart the creative economy. I could be a patron of the arts. Mars releases you and pulls up the finances screen of her holopalm. You catch a glimpse of her balance, which is more kudos than you've ever made in a year at least. Yes, good, Mars says, thinking out loud. More than enough to start. She looks at you. Well, Kita, she says imperiously, you'll join me, right? Let's give away some kudos. Yeah, sure, take 100. I don't really use my money. Mars' eyes go wide as she sees 100 kudos land in her account. Oh my god! Oh, Daddy, she laughs, fixing you with a wicked smile. I didn't know you were so generous. I kind of want to say that. I can't believe that doesn't have a flirtation thing on it. I can't believe that's not a flirtatious response. That's so funny. I'm gonna click it. It's hilarious. There's more where that came from. Mars throws her back her head and laughs, delighted that you played along. Oh, aren't you fun, she says. You hear Tang's voice before you see her. I've already told you I have no idea where Diz has gone. Perhaps he's dead. You enter the laboratory and see Tangent talking to someone from command, and as Dr. Instance looks on with a concerned look, Tangent is standing her ground. I know it's horrible to say or even to think, but if I say it, will you finally leave me alone? Wherever he is, he's happier for it. Tang catches your eye and excuses herself, making her way over to you. Pretend you need me for something, she whispers, her voice shaking. I would like to be spared from these vultures. Research. Tang is working late in the lab this evening as usual. What's unusual, though, is the smile that brightens her face when she looks up from her microscope and sees you. Kita, oh, I'm glad you're here. I was just... No, actually, why don't you come over and see for yourself? What is it? You take a look through her microscope. Look at the shape of the spores, Tang says. I've only seen this once before when we were studying the shimmer fungus, but this fungus isn't any of the ones we identified as capable of spreading the shimmer. She pushes you aside and looks through a microscope again. Then makes more notes on her HoloLens, yeah. Just when I think we've got an understanding of something, Kita, this could change everything. If more species are capable of spreading the spores, then the shimmer response is more widespread than we previously thought. Possibly even a planet-wide phenomenon. Tang looks positively energized. Because it's a new species, I get to submit a suggestion for its name. What do you think? Should I name it after you? Why would you name it after me? Tang, that's so sweet. I mean, I think she should name it after herself. She's the one that works so hard on it, you know? You should name it after yourself. Don't be ridiculous, Tang laughs as she inputs your name into her hollow eye. I've already named 6 things after myself. That's what scientists do when they discover things. With a slight gesture of her hand, Tang's hollow eye turns off. She sighs, then rubs her thumb and index finger over her eyes. It's even later than usual for me, isn't it? Time to pack up and get going before the sanitation team arrives in the morning. She yawns, then blinks rapidly in surprise. It seems that I'm even tired. You help her pack up her workstation. She turns off the lights with one last fond look at her laboratory. You and Tang take the long way through the colony, walking in companionable silence towards the general direction of the living quarters. You've come to enjoy these walks with Tang, moving like twin spirits through a sleeping world. Tang stops you before you head into the living quarters. Actually, let's not go straight back, she says. I want to stay out a little longer. Okay. You and Tang climb up onto the walls where the wind coming from the forest is stronger and keep walking. The wilderness is dark and impenetrable past the defense parameter. Tang keeps you on the outside edge, subconsciously or possibly consciously putting you between her and it. I hate thinking about what's out there, she says quietly. Predators, dangers, diseases, all the monsters that have terrified humanity since the dawn of time, and they're right outside these walls. It's not so bad out there. She links her fingers behind her back as she walks. All the same, I think I've finally come to appreciate it for what it is. Opportunity. How many scientists have truly been afforded this freedom of discovery, a seemingly limitless buffet of knowledge? Tang looks towards the wilderness and smiles wistfully. Vertumna is full of dangers, yes, but I find myself also feeling a curious sense of wonder, awe perhaps. You walk a little farther before Tang, seemingly in the middle of some deep thought, stops and turns to you. Kita, are you happy here? She winces, then bites her lip. No, I don't mean happy, precisely. Happiness is irrelevant to his survival situation. What I mean is, do you imagine a future here? One that you would have chosen for yourself, should you have been given the option? Are you fulfilled? I think I could be. I'm gonna go yes. Oh, Tang replies, looking away. I envy your clarity of vision. Honestly, Tang continues, I despise the physical realities of living here. The smell, the cramped quarters, the constant threat of attack, of disease, everyone's meaningless interpersonal squabbles amplified by proximity and stress. I can feel them weighing me down. She laughs humorlessly. But we don't have a choice, do we? Therefore, the only rational decision is to make the best of what we have. To accept otherwise is to accept misery and death. That's the Tangent you know so well. You can trust her to stay logical and focused no matter what chaos tomorrow may bring. You walk until the chill of the night settles into your skin, then descend from the walls and walk back to the living quarters. Tang hesitates at the threshold. Anyone else might not have noticed, but you know Tang. Probably better than anyone else in the colony does. What's wrong? Tang sighs deeply. I don't like being in my quarters. It reminds me that my brother is gone and that we never... She turns away from you and you hear her sniff once. She's not a very huggy person, Tang. Do you want a hug? Tang's awkward silence conveys that she has to consider this deeply. Yes, she says finally. I do, actually. That's a first. You enfold Tang in a gentle hug. After a few seconds of stunned inaction, Tang wraps her arms limply around you as well. You spread your hands wide and hold her more tightly, trying to manifest the right kind of comforting energy to resonate through Tang's shields. Either you manage or she simply relents, but Tang rests her head on top of yours and sighs. This is where I talk about how physical touch encourages the production of oxytocin, she murmurs, which is a bonding hormone that imparts feelings of calm and security. You can feel her smile against your hair. I know you know that, though, so I'll simply say this is nice, thank you. Tang straightens her coat. I'm aware that I am not the easiest person to befriend, she admits. Among my many admirable qualities, I am also often cold, brisk, and tactless. I owe you my thanks for taking the time to see through that. I don't know why you would have bothered, but I'm grateful. She looks toward the living quarters as if steeling herself. I hope this isn't flirtatious. I'm not trying to be. Because, like, I'm hoping this is more like a sleep party, sleepover sort of thing. Because she just says she doesn't want to be in her room alone. And this doesn't have to be romantic or sexual or anything. You don't have to be alone tonight. Oh, an interesting proposition, Tang replies. What precisely do you mean? No. We could keep each other company. Tang scrutinizes your face for any hint of ulterior motive. Convinced you have none, her shoulders drop. I'd like that, thank you, she says, defeated. You retire back to Tang's quarters, a largely sterile sleeping room with few human touches, save for a few neglected plants and a ratty blanket that you recognize as the kind Chief Steward Anne used to knit by hand for every kid. Oh, so they kept it. There is a physical photo of Tang and Instance posed awkwardly together, as if they'd been working on something and told to take a break to smile for the camera. That sounds right. You keep Tang quiet company for a few hours, trading bits of conversation until the first sun starts to rise. You look over and see that Tang's eyes have closed, and her face has finally gone slack in much-needed sleep. You pull the blanket over her and close your eyes as well, and catch a few hours before you're both expected back at work. That's so nice. I feel like that was our first, like, genuine interaction for this whole game, and I think that was her last event for our relationship. So I'm just kind of like, wow, that was just some genuine emotion for once. Because outside of how she feels about her body, she hasn't really, which by itself is her telling us about how she feels about herself is definitely a sense of vulnerability there, and is also important, but that was like some actual emotion coming out related to, you know, our friendship, which was nice. I don't know, should I just bring it to Lum? Is it like one of the situations where, like, I need a month to... I don't know. I simply do not know. Let's keep working in the depot. OMG, Mars enunciates, drawing your attention from stocking the shelves. Did you see the new requisition come in? It's from Rex. I wonder what he wants, she says, scrolling through it. Oh, he's so hot. I hope it's something for me. He knows I like gifts, right? Yeah, but you're so picky about your gifts. You pull up the requisition on your holopalm and it's a mess. Rex has no idea how to fill these out. At the bottom under additional comments, he's written, laughing, Lamo, sorry, I don't know if I did this right. Help. You and Mars exchange looks. If you want an excuse to spend some one-on-one time with Rex, you'll have to fight her for it. It's your turn to stock the shelves. Thank you so much for helping me with this, Keto, Rex says when he comes in, looking at you with big, helpless eyes. He rests his hand lightly on your forearm. I've never really done this before. It's just a lot to take in, you know? It's easy. Here's what you do. Not now, Rex. He makes a cute little face that you don't want to play with him, but honestly, having to turn Rex down is better than having to watch him and Mars make eyes at each other. I guess I'm getting better at persuasion, but still. I don't know when I should bring this to him. I don't know if I should. And I can't, it doesn't look like I can talk to people about it either. Like, I can't recruit people myself to just, like, come aboard with the plan. So I think I'm just going to go to next month and save and try it. Mars calls this meeting of the SFC to order with a grim expression. I cannot just stand by while Governor Lum ruins everything we've built here, she says, clenching her fist on the table. He might know how to hold a gun, but he doesn't know how to lead a colony. From now on, this club is going to focus on getting Governor Lum out of power, and we're getting someone competent in. We have from now until Vertumnalia to somehow convince the other council members that he's gotta go. That's not a lot of time. I agree, Cal says, and everyone turns to him in surprise. What? What? He continues defensively. Lum's a jerk. All he cares about is killing animals. It's better for the whole planet if he's gone. I agree. Mars steeples her fingers, but the question is, who would we get to replace him? Obviously, I think I'm a great candidate, but I'm willing to consider other options. Honestly, I'm okay with Mars being candidate. She screams manager to me, so I agree it should be Mars. Cal looks worried. No offense, Mars, but are you really gonna stop the soldiers from killing animals? Look, Cal, Mars says, spreading her hands wide. I don't want hunters going out and not coming back either. Maybe we can find a safer, more efficient way to deal with the animals, yeah? Sounds ominous. Cal doesn't look convinced. Nami exchanges a look with Rex, then clears their throat. We support you, Mars. We think you'll be a great governor. Oh, sorry. Let me... We support you, Mars. We think you'll be a great governor. But... Nami continues, tracing their finger idly over the tabletop. You're gonna keep it so that the colony is fair and everyone has what they need, right? I like that we don't have to compete for stuff and everyone gets the same treatment. Look, Nami, I get it, but the colony can't grow without a little incentive. Mars says, look at how Kudos encourages us to help out the colony. What if everyone had something like that? I think that in the future we should go back to earning a paycheck and spending it on things. She continues, if you want nicer things, you gotta work harder. So more will get done around here and people will be willing to make those nice things for people to buy. I'm sorry to say, it's the only way we're going to get some culture around here. The others don't look so convinced. Mars gathers everyone close, so the plan is, we campaign in all departments. Geoponics, engineering, the garrison, the quarters, explorations, and here in command. Try to soften up all 6 council members and get them on our side. Try to keep this on the down low. Then at next Vertumnalia, we surprise the governor with a spontaneous council vote and replace him. He'll never see it coming. Getting Chief Administrator Seek alone is fairly easy. No one wants to spend time around them if they don't have to. You explain that you're intending to hijack the elections at Vertumnalia in order to depose Governor Lum. The more you speak, the more it's clear that Seek is already on board. Finally, they say, rubbing their hands together with a look of unbridled glee. I was waiting for someone to realize what an imbecile he is. The man barely knows how to read. So we can count on your vote? It depends, Zeke replies. You're not the only person with ideas around here. I was planning on making a go at governor myself. They extend their hand to you, rubbing 2 fingers together. Unless you can provide significant motivation to throw myself behind your cause instead. Bro, I don't have money for you. You're not certain wants to be governor and is easily bribed is a great combination. Oh, if I had my 100 kudos! Oh my god! Zeke gives you a slimy no. Zeke drops their hand. They tisk. Fine, we shall see how far your little revolution will go without my support. Mark is incensed when you report back that you didn't secure Zeke's vote. Zeke hates Lum, she moaned. If we can't even get them on our side, we're doomed. Doomed. I didn't have 100 kudos. I gave it away. I didn't think it was a big deal. But apparently I need 100 kudos. You find Mars frowning over a textbook on her hollow. She flips through the pages with growing disgust until finally she gestures angrily to dismiss the screen, then drags her hand down her face. Ugh, she exclaims, people totally suck. You slide into the seat next to Mars and she sighs. I told my dads about my plan to get the adults to adopt kudos as a way to encourage the arts, and they got really weird about it. Like, they think it's a good idea, but then they told me that I should read up about Earth's history. So I did. You know what I found out? People suck. The whole reason we left Earth was because trading money for stuff was a bad idea. It made a few people rich and everyone else poor, and it destroyed all the culture. And people fought and killed each other over it. By the time our parents left Earth, almost everyone worked super hard and was super poor, while like 100 people barely worked at all and owned private spacecrafts. That's so dumb. This colony is the closest humans have come to income equality in thousands of years, and we don't have any passion. And Earth's history is full of people with passion who end up turning into supervillains while everyone else starves. Mars says, crossing her arms. Is that all we're capable of? Really? She looks at you intently and puts her hands over her heart. I'm a passionate person, Kita, she says. Is being a despot all I'm capable of being? I don't know. That's something you're gonna have to find out for yourself. You're gonna have to work at it. Mars nods with conviction. You're right, Kita. I am glad I can always count on you to remind me to be better. Well, that was surprising. You're welcome. There has to be a middle ground between austerity and inequality, Mars continues. I don't want to have everything while everyone else has nothing. Like, yes, obviously I want to colonize this stupid rock. Mars continues. I want massive cities and glass skyscrapers and flying cars. I want to not have to fight off aliens every year. I want to pave over all these scungy pollen trees and kill the stupid bugs. I want air conditioning. I just want everyone to have everything, even the stuff that the adults think doesn't matter. We can't live like animals just because of the boogeyman of our past. As governor, I'm not gonna let us fall into the same patterns we did on Earth, Mars says. We have to take care of each other and master this planet, but we also can't forget what makes life worth living, luxury. What do you think, Kita? Mars asks. Do you think I'm on the right track? How do we avoid past mistakes? Well, I mean, Mars starts and furrows her brow in thought. I mean, I guess I thought because we're already starting out equal, people would just be better. She frowns. You're right, it seems like wishful thinking, doesn't it? Well, at least I have you to bring me back to Earth. I mean, Vertumna. Mars smiles and claps your shoulder. Thank you, Kita. You always think of things I don't. I really appreciate that about you. I am so surprised by that. You're very welcome. Hey, Dad? Wait, how do we talk to the other people about... Because Vertumnalia is just about to happen. I wonder if it's too late. I didn't even spend that much time looking for Diz. I didn't. I spent 1 month looking for Diz. And doing his thing. So if they only gave us until... Is Dust next, or is... No. Yes. Is Dust next? I don't know, I guess we'll find out. But we're gonna have to work in here, I think. In order to... Oh, tutor children, that's lovely. After work, you ask Chief Engineer Instance for a few minutes of her time. She allows you into her office and begrudgingly listens as you explain that you and Mars intend to hijack the elections at the next Virtunalia. When you're finished, she heaves a long-suffering sigh and pinches the bridge of her nose in her fingers. Why in the world would I support this plan? She says. We're barely surviving as it is. Lum is right. The planet is at war with us. Every year we come closer and closer to total annihilation. Is this really the time for dissent? Instance gestures to her office. Every horizontal surface is covered with experiments. He may not be the most suited to the job, but do you see anyone else with the time on their hands to run a colony? The idiot does the least damage where he is, doing busy work and making stupid motivational videos. Until it gets worse. We already saw it get worse. I don't know what you're talking about, Instance. I know he made you work on that virus. Blackmail her, oh my god. Did I say before I came in here? Oh, we got a vote. Instance stares at you for a long time as if sizing up your mettle. Calculations go on behind her eyes you can barely hope to understand. My personal feelings on that matter and what is best for the future of the colony are two different things, she says finally. But you're right that the governor's leadership is reckless to the extreme. Perhaps even a child could do better. Agreed. You can count on my vote. Yeah. That's one. Our dad should be pretty easy. Hoping. I will feel very betrayed if he isn't. Yep, okay. When's Virtunalia? Fuck, I think it's in dust. I literally think it's now. I think it's... Man, that sucks. I do. I think it's now. I just didn't have enough time. I think we're a little too late to get rid of Lum. I don't think we have enough time, because we're talking to one of them a month. I don't know if I was supposed to trigger this a while ago or not. I don't know. But I think Virtunalia happens early dust. Like, once you finish early dust, I think it triggers. So, and I don't know how many votes we need. Because there's gotta be so many people that just hate Lum. There has to be. After everything he's done? I don't know. I just don't know. I'll be really upset, though, if it's like we just ran out of time. That's going to be really irritating to me. We'll have to deal with it, just see what happens. Do it next time. But yeah, I'm going to have to end it here. The video's getting a little too long. And I'll see everybody tomorrow. Bye, guys.